2.
Hello, welcome to our Liberty Gardens. And I'm Carrie McKinnon, your host. This is a station, or a channel, I should say, about houseplants, gardening, outdoor landscaping to some extent, and do it yourself. And all of us are doing it on 3 acres with a house that was built in 1902. Today, I am going to plant in these 3 wonderful little chicken pots. I love chickens, by the way. And, of course, Minerva wants to be in the way. But what we're going to put in here is we're going to put some cuttings that I received from my sister, Stephanie. And so I'll show y'all those videos now. They are actually Christmas cactus. And the reason I know they're Christmas cactus is because she sent me to them this last week while they were actually blooming. And so what this is she sent me with them blooming so that I would know actually which ones are which. And as you can see, this one had a bloom on it. The bloom doesn't really have a smell, but it is still kind of pink. This one is the red one. So we're gonna set the red one over here with the bloom. And as we go through this, you'll see that this one is probably the pink one, but we're gonna double check. We'll lay that right there. She wrapped these in a little damp thing. Yes, that's true. That one is pink because this one is the white one. And I'm going to put the white one in the middle. So I'm going to put that back up. Now, I like to use pots that drain unless I have a cache pot, which means that I have a pot that drains that is inside an actual pot that doesn't have a hole in the bottom. These all are pretty awesome because they have the option, as you can see, for you to have a plug or not. Now, we're not going to have the plug. What we're going to use in the bottom of this is a coffee filter. And that'll just keep that dirt from going out of the bottom, but we'll still be able to put it in our little tray. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the red one. And I've already filled these 2 up and put the things in there. And I usually just like to stick, like if I have a bloom, even though it's probably gonna fade and I may not tell, I put the bloom just on the edge. So this is this way. It looks like this one broke off in transit, so I'm just gonna snap it. And all I do is simply just push them in like that. Done. That simple. Now if it falls over, just pick it up and do it again because that is soft. And I only do it about halfway up the thing. Now this one is the pink one. So pink one is going to go over here. It looks like I lost the bloom for the white one, but I'll find it. The white one is gonna go in the center. And so just in case you can see that, I just stick it and it's done. And these will take a good little while to root. So let me go back and check in here and look for my white bloom because I'm pretty sure I didn't pick it up. Aha, there it is. And I'll just stick it right there. So, and the reason I'm putting these cactus in these tins is not so much because I'll probably put them in something else later. It's just because there's 3 different colors. It allows me to keep the colors separate and know which one. Now, if I was truly doing this in more of a commercial setting, or I was doing this to give to a friend, I probably would put them in a terracotta pot so that they drain a little bit better, or a pot that for sure had a hole. And what I would do is label it, because this is really a little big for these. So what I do is I take my soil, and this is just rail draining soil. And what I usually do is I mix a little bit of pumice bark, sometimes it's pine bark, orchid bark, a little bit of a tiny bit of peat, and just some soil that I have here on the 3 acres. And the reason I do that is because that soil is some really nice looking soil. This is mostly soil from the property here, but as you can see, that is some pretty awesome looking soil. And you can probably see snow on the ground behind me. That's from the about 6 to 8 inches that we got on the 10th. And as you can see, since we live in the panhandle, it's already almost all melted off. Usually it doesn't even last this long. So what you can do is you can use your thing, get it filled up as much as you want it. Now I encourage you not to fill this to the very top. And the reason I say that is because you don't want the water flowing over the top when you water. This allows you to water it once every 10 to 14 days. And by watering it every 10 to 14 days, you'll be able to just make it simple. So you want to really pack that in. Now I go back around and I pack in all the sides. Then I'm a hands-on kind of person. I don't always use the shovel. Walter gets a little bit mad at me because sometimes I make a little bit more mess than I probably should. So then I put that in there. Go back, double check that everything is really pushed down, because I didn't do that on these two. Now, if you have something like this, and you get something that is going to allow you to keep the stoppers, do what we did here, which is put the stoppers in the corner, because you might want to keep these stoppers for a plant that doesn't like a lot of draining, or if you end up putting a cash pot or you want to separate them. Hey, Minerva, no ma'am, love you, but no. So, the kittens, if you see them in the background, are Minerva, Bathsheba, and Lilith. We have a lot of kittens around here because since we live in the country in a rural area, of course we have, little rodents and things like that. So you get this printed up. Now you're going to water this in, but these three, as you can see, look how darling that is with the chickens. I know it sounds funny that I say darling, but there you go. Now all you're going to do is just water it in, take it inside because they are not cold or frost tolerant, and just put it somewhere and, wait a few weeks. I wouldn't pull it out and check all the time, but in 3 or 4 weeks, if you just give it a tug and it doesn't come out, then it's probably rooted. Also, realize that, these things, water it, keep it a little moist at first for the first couple of weeks, because it was in here in a moist paper towel. But, make it work for you. And realize, not everything that you go to propagate is going to make it. I mean, that's just the fact of life. But the things that do are going to be enjoyable. Remember, you have the liberty to plant what you want to. Within reason, there are some things in our nation that you can't plant. And some of you know what those things are. Anyway, this has been our Liberty Gardens with me, your host, Carrie. Please like and subscribe, and we'll have more content going on. See what happens? And in the summer, poor thing, in the summer, you'll see some of the work that we do on the house, some of the changes that we make, some of the outdoor gardening, pruning our roses and taking care of irises. Thank you so much, and y'all have a great day. Bye.